Hmm.
Yo, Real Rap Coalition Podcast. We back at it again with another episode. I forget. I think this is episode 93, 92 or 93, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Uh, we're here again with another recap for y'all. This week we watched Looper. That was a choice by F Dub. But before we get into everything and like that, y'all go ahead and introduce yourself.
Did you
After
already introduce yourself, bro? Okay.
I could have
All
just
right.
tagged it on at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, we just normally do it in order. That's why I was confused. I am the pride of House Belmont, the main character, man. Finna fuck up a vampire after this shit's over with.
after we back in this bitch.
And I'm black ass motherfucking roots. Y'all may have heard the change, but oh look at that. As soon as we fucking start, my laptop decides to whatever.
Y'all may have heard
Uh,
the change, like walking with a pocket full of quarters.
that's such a long punchline. I
Thanks,
feel like
man.
that doesn't work. But yeah, this nigga. Jesus Christ. I, I was just about to pass to him
There
so he
go.
could explain his fucking movie. Wait, whose
Yeah,
movie is
that's.
this?
I think that was his movie. Because there was about to say last week y'all was reviewing the thing, so it wasn't Puos and it wasn't gonna be Trey. The
Oh yeah,
fucking
it was my movie.
intro to the thing episode is comedic as fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you, boy.
Hmm.
I laughed at that shit several times this week. That boy
Oh
Trey
yeah,
that
I'm
boy
pretty
Trey
sure.
said on some real shit though, that is absolutely filthy to look at a picture of two men and say one of them must be on the way to get their dick sucked right now.
Nah, that's a
That
fact.
shit sick, boy.
Uh, real quick, shout out to W. That's our sponsor. Y'all go over to W.com. I do need to change that because now with code REALRAP, that's REELWRAP, you will receive a 20% discount instead of a 10% discount. So y'all make sure y'all go over there and run that up. But Fireworks, go ahead and introduce your movie, brother.
All right. So this week for episode 93, I believe, we are watching Ryan Johnson's Looper. I made a mistake last week when when I was talking about who wrote and directed the movie, but yeah, it is none other than Ryan Johnson. Shout out to him. 2012's Looper, starring Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emily Blunt, and a bunch of other niggas. So we we see the life of a 25-year-old named Joe who works as a looper or some sort of assassin, I guess. Works for a syndicate in Kansas City, and essentially he's knocking out or he's killing criminals from the past or from the future that are sent to the past because in this universe, time travel is forbidden. I think is what they said, and it's only accessible to the wealthy, I believe. Um, so one day, one of those loopers ends up being his a variant of his future self. His variant escapes, and so the movie goes ahead and shows us what transpires next.
All
I'm
right,
sure.
so F Dub, I gotta correct you here, man. So first things
Yep.
first, like the theory, the concept behind the looper is that these motherfuckers are like hitmen that like work in tandem with underground, seedy mafioso types of the future and shit. So while you do have to be wealthy, these ain't criminals that these motherfuckers are sending back. They're just sending people that they want dead and shit.
Well,
If
that
the
too. Yeah.
mafia puts a hit out on a motherfucker, they just gonna like strap some silver bars to your back, put you in that little pod, and send your ass back to 2013, where you gonna be greeted with a chest full of buckshot. So
That is correct,
you
KTR.
know, shout outs to them. I think that inherently, we can talk about this at the start. I think the concept of this shit is cold than a bitch. You know, I think that like
Absolutely. This is sorry to cut you off. This is a concept I don't know if y'all have, but like I've never seen this type of shit being done in a film before. Of course, there's time travel films, of course, but this one like kind of
I was about to
explores
say
it
the
in a
idea of
different
time
way.
travel hitmen generally would like involve the hitman time traveling to another time to kill people. Here
Yes.
they just exist and the targets are sent to them. You know?
Yes.
So that's one thing that makes it different. But yeah, and then motherfuckers they basically sign the contract when they get into this life that eventually they will have to kill a version of themselves to sever ties. That way, the motherfuckers that are doing this shit don't get
Don't
caught.
get traced back yet.
So they close their own loop and whatnot. One thing I'd like to address, I mentioned it. We now have a new most watched, or at least tied for most watched person on the podcast. And I think that's kind of interesting.
Which is
This is at least the fourth movie on the podcast we've seen Paul Dano in. So, you know,
dope.
that's really unexpected. Motherfucker was in Prisoners. He was in The Girl Next Door, and he was in something else. I can't remember what it was, but now he's been in Looper. You know, so
That's okay. Yeah, I didn't know who he was talking about at first. I had to look it up. Didn't want to sound stupid,
The,
but yeah, that's a
the ginger
fact.
dude.
We did
he's the
not.
Riddler, Roots.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. We didn't review that, did we?
Mm-mm. But I just watched it
I think
again
we should.
recently. That was
I think we
fire.
should have. I haven't watched it again yet, but he definitely did a fire job in that. As well in this. His role wasn't as big. I think this was more so in his earlier days
Yeah, he was a
of
minor
his
character.
early career. Wow, this nigga's 40. Hold on.
I
Let's
mean,
see who this bitch is at. Oh, he date Zoe Kanza, or is married to Zoe Kanza.
I don't know who that is.
She all right.
Or me.
I got you. 1 second.
You want to
1
put it on the
second.
screen?
Oh, like none of this is really notable. I'll
But
post something.
yeah, so shout out to Paul Dano. You know what I'm saying? He like his character had like minor fucking telekinetic powers. That's a thing that like a subsect of people have and whatnot. Um, they like, but it's not really any cold shit. They just be out there floating nickels and shit.
Yeah, I think they refer to it in the
It
film as
really ass.
TK.
Mm-hmm.
TK. Yeah.
In which they sure did figure out a way to bring that back around, because halfway through the movie I was like, this shit is completely irrelevant. I don't understand why the fuck they keep mentioning this shit.
Mm-hmm. But one thing, first off, we can talk about the performances of the actors, I guess. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, man, turned in a great performance as young Joe. Motherfucker is a very good grounding point for the movie. You watch, the whole movie essentially through his perspective
But
and
what the
whatnot.
fuck?
Essentially through his perspective, you watch the movie, and he conveys the emotion, and you get to see the growth of his character throughout the movie. I think that's pretty dope.
Most definitely.
Even like at the start, you're seeing his insecurities, a little whatever her name is, a little stripper bitch that he was fucking with. He out there trying to save that stripper bitch.
Yeah,
That's
at
the
one point.
Zoe Kanza.
Oh wow, okay. They got nice
right.
eyes.
That's one of the white women of all time.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's
I
certainly
don't
one of
necessarily
them. I
know
ain't
that
gonna lie to
dude.
you.
You talking about like as far as looks?
Yeah, I'm saying like out of all the white women that exist, she is certainly one of them.
What?
That's about all I can say about it.
This nigga's stupid.
Nigga dumb as fuck, bro.
No, she definitely a white
That
hoe.
shit had merit.
No, it's just a statement of fact. Like, I can't say nothing nice about you, but I can tell you what you are. But
Go ahead.
yeah, like I say, so I think that you get to see his growth through the movie. Bruce Willis is dope. As old Joe, he is this unhinged future version who's seen what the fuck the world can become. So now he's on his own mission.
Hey, real quick, I will say this: when they showed, like when they showed the different lifestyle that he lived, because Joe's choice to wanting to go to France and this, that, and the third, and then after that showed, it showed Bruce Willis's character, older Joe, going to China instead and whatnot. When they were going through the flashbacks and then just showing his receding hairline, and then having like that emo look, right? That shit looked absolutely silly on him. Like I get that it was a wig and shit, but that looked absolutely just
What was it?
horrendous. Like
Hold on, that shit lagged. What was it?
Y'all ever seen
Roots, I'm not gonna hold you. You cut off, bro.
what the fuck? Yo.
So that is just him,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, this shit. Man, fucking.
Well, anyways, that's all I was trying to get at. Like he looked absolutely crazy when he was losing all his hair and they were showing all that in the future and whatnot. That was kind of silly.
Yeah, because he was off like fucking heroin or whatever, going through withdrawals, laid up with that Asian bitch. Man,
Yeah. She was very good looking too.
he was a wild boy. But yeah, and shout out to Emily Blunt. She is who she is within this movie. I think she was very serviceable as her character.
Showed her topless too.
I'm sorry, real quick, to go back on the drugs.
God damn.
I mean, have we? I don't think doing drugs has changed much since it started, right? Like niggas been for heroin, niggas been using needles since like the 50s or some shit. Coke, you're gonna snort it unless it's crack, you're gonna smoke it or you're gonna freebase it. But in every movie where it shows the future, they show some new different way in order to get high. The only other time I've seen it done this way was in what's the name of that shit? Riddick, Pitch Black, the first Riddick movie, where dude is shooting morphine into his fucking cornea or some shit.
Yeah, but I don't even think this was no regularly recognized
having
drug.
eye drops as the drug of choice.
Like I think this was some other shit. I don't even think this was no regularly recognized drug. He was just like had some kind of weird drug you take through eye drops.
I thought it was like a hallucinogen. I can't even say the word.
Hallucinogen, but yes, like possibly. That shit definitely, like he was out there partying with his partners and shit, and that shit was warping
Going
his
crazy.
reality. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like he was just a junkie, like, and then he moved on to heroin after that shit, or at least that's what I assume was in those needles. It might have been some kind of weird fucking drug that they didn't even have yet. They did a good job of blending the fucking current day with like some futuristic like cyberpunk type of shit.
Yeah,
that was cold as fuck how they did that for real.
Between I don't want to say wealthy, but people who got money and people who don't, they emphasize that a lot. Poor niggas was fucked up. Like, is that how bad it's gonna be in the future? Niggas living in tents and abandoned buildings and abandoned skyscrapers. It was a nigga in a tent on like the 15th floor of an abandoned building.
I'm about to say, having an abandoned skyscraper be your house is absolutely insane, bro. Like,
absolutely insane.
Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. That ain't even that bad, bro. Like, I'm about to. I'm probably not gonna see no dog up here. or no
No
fucking
roaches.
animal trying to fuck with me. It might be cold because the windows is bust out, but like I don't know, man. That shit don't sound that bad. That sound like you the kind of homeless person that gets to flex on the other homeless people and shit.
Like, yeah,
Like
I
you
live
get
This
to
man,
down
this man
all
said this
you
shit
get
all right.
bro, you get to look down on them both physically and metaphorically. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bum ass
I'm
motherfucker,
bitch
you
house
out there
homeless, bitch.
you holding your hands over a barrel that's on fire down there. Look at me.
Okay,
Dropping
that
loogies
was
on poor
wild.
people's heads for 15,
Hell yeah, just
40
spit on
bucks.
them motherfucker. Pause.
Did
But
But
y'all
I
real quick,
but
did y'all find like the level of currency in this movie kind of wild? Like they get paid in
yeah,
silver bars, and then for closing up a loop they get paid in gold. That is kind of
I
wild. I'm not
mean,
gonna hold you.
I feel like I mean, of course they because I don't even know the difference of the how much a silver bar is to a gold bar. I just know gold is better than silver. But I don't even think that they really emphasize the difference other than this is when you know you got 30 years to live.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
But I
So
mean,
so I guess
yeah,
it's not really a
and they
blessing to
definitely
get
didn't
gold.
right, and they definitely didn't fully think that out either. Like you probably shouldn't strap it to where it can completely cover all the vital organs if the person just does a fucking turn. Because none of these motherfuckers are executing motherfuckers with
hey,
headshots
Roots,
all body.
that boy, Bruce Willis, he turned around and like had that shit, hit the golden shit. Then he took one of them bars while Buddy was trying to reload and threw that bitch in his face, man. He smoked him. He
And
winds
then
up, he
sock the
turns
shit out
around
of
and
them.
about to say, and then it's the fucking 1970s detective punch with a sound effect. It would have said
No,
pow
no,
on
no,
that
no,
bitch.
no, no.
Like,
They made that look so much more fire when it was from dude point of view. When you just
uh-huh.
watch the whole thing happen, that shit look
Oh yeah.
ass.
Like from the side and shit.
That was fire. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he just
that a
fucking
lot of
spun
cold
around,
moments in
got
this
shot,
film, man.
hit the nigga with gold, and ran up, staggered up, and punched him in the face. In which
That
All
shit is hilarious,
this
bro.
nigga chin weak as hell. I seen this nigga get knocked out mad times in this shit.
right.
Hey man, he just not like that. That's why he got a gun, If you can't,
Bro, he got incapacitated by a shoulder chop.
if you can't scrap, get you a grip. You hear what I'm saying?
He damn
Oh
sure
my
can't scrap.
god.
That's what it
He can
boils
tackle
down to.
people. That's pretty much all I seen him do this whole shit.
Hey,
That
bro, and then you had that. Go ahead.
the flat I like kind of like what KTL said. I do like how or Roots. I do like how they showed the alternate timeline. You feel me? Where he goes to China. That whole future is kind of crazy though. This man really blows through his money, becomes a hitman for cash, or something. Starts blowing niggas up left and right, and
Doing mad
finally
drive-bys and shit.
in China, in China, which is
How you
crazy.
how you leave America to link up with a Yakuza of the future? Like
Yeah, no, that was cold as fuck, but it's also kind of dark for real. Like the path
I'll
that
tell y'all what I
he
think
goes
is.
down.
I'll tell y'all what I think is fire though, bro. Paul Dano character, he go through and he fuck up. He let his loop get away and shit.
oh
So
yeah.
they looking for him. They stuck him in the floor safe and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that little goofy ass dude, he thought that he was finna press shit.
Kid
Joe,
Blue.
about to say Joe was holding the fuck out of him. He was sitting there playing
Kid
around
Blue
with
really
that
a
gun. He
bitch.
say, "Don't go shoot your other foot off, kid." And then fucking dude Abe opened the door and knocked Buddy in the head. He shoot that bitch again. Everybody come running in. He said, "You didn't shoot your other foot off, did you, kid?" Like they was just hoeing him. But like
I'm looking for his name now because I wanna
who?
address him
Kid
correctly.
Blue?
Big blue.
Nah, Abe.
Abe
Jeff
is
Daniels.
yeah, it's Jeff
Jeff
Daniels. That's
Daniels.
Dumb and Dumber. He
He
was
was wow, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
Yo,
I'm
same
telling you, that
here,
motherfucker is cold, bro. Jeff Daniels and had like a few things. They got this shit I seen online where like it's some TV show about like politicians or whatever, and he gives this cold ass speech about like why America's not the greatest country because of how fucked up it is. Like Jeff Daniels cold than a bitch, bro. People don't realize that shit. He was back
bro.
with Jim Carrey making a classic, then he went on to do some cold shit. He was
Wow.
also in if you ever seen what is it, Speed? He was like the
I've been
SWAT
meaning to
team
watch that
member in
shit.
Speed and shit.
Wow, I
I
did
definitely
not know
been
he
meaning to
was
watch that.
like, yeah, I did not know he was that versatile. You feel me? I really
Yeah,
thought
nigga
like,
was in nigga. Oh, he was one of the henchmen in 101 Dalmatians.
Bro, that motherfucker Jeff Daniels gave like Abe gave a speech. He literally told him, he said, I know you think we're probably gonna torture you or hurt you. He said, I'm gonna put that to bed right now. He says, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk for a little bit and then you're gonna tell me where your friend is. And he's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, all right,
Well, I'm
well
gonna
then
just
I'm
well,
gonna
I'm
talk
gonna
to
talk
talk.
you.
along.
And
Yeah,
he just literally talked no jutsu'd that
Nah,
motherfucker into
facts.
telling on his partner, bro. Like, and he wasn't
And
like,
really, it came down to one simple thing: your bread or your partner. Pick
bro.
one.
And beyond that, he started that shit out. He was like, hey man, I really fuck with you, Joe. You know, like I found you on the streets. You was dirty and shit. You know, I picked you up, gave you a haircut, and gave you a gun. I gave you something that was yours.
He kind
You
of
know,
hold that nigga to start
and
off.
he
yeah, he
told him,
kind of did.
he was like, you made me proud, man. You were the youngest one that I ever hired, and all this and that. Like he was really like he played up that he was the man around them parts, man. He's the boss. He runs shit. Because even like Joe's saying in the voiceover and shit, he's like, yeah, they sent him back to in time to make sure that people was doing the loops right and shit. He says, but that shit's so easy. He's just decided to take over the city and get him some muscle. You know,
Right.
like Buddy conquered the city as a side quest. That shit is wild.
Yeah, we could also get a little bit of foreshadowing from that little scene as well when he was like, "Oh, why?" You know, what I mean, he was like, "Oh, you're going to France. All right, well, I'm from
Hmm.
the future. Go to China." And then
Yeah,
he's like, "Nah,
he
I'm
says
going to
I'm
France."
going to
But
France. He said I'm from the future. I'm telling you, I'm going to France. Like.
and then he's like, "No, you're gonna go to China or whatever, right?" But obviously, we see, what plays out afterwards. You feel me? Joe's variant goes to China, and then, well, yeah,
But the
loop.
cold shit that I wanted to address, bro, is they pulled Buddy out the floor safe. He said, "You're not gonna kill him, are you?" He said, "Nah, if we can help it, it'd fuck up the future."
Hmm.
So they literally said, "Hey, go get the doc and shit." And you watch, bro, his variant shit. They carving shit on his arm, telling him where to go. Then he starts, bro. He's trying to climb a fence. He start losing fingers and shit. They take
Crazy.
the tip of his nose off. He start driving. His feet come off, bro. He start trying to run. His legs come off, bro. He losing arms and shit. He like end up going up to the door and just start beating on the door with his nub and shit. And a motherfucker just like shot the shit out of him, bro. Like he was basically begging for death because they had a motherfucker put under and whatnot, and they was just taking pieces off of him. Like that is
Yeah,
a
nah, that shit's
sick
insane.
scene, bro. But that is some cold ass imagery of like even
From the
you know what I'm
start
saying?
of
Like,
it, where it's just he got the little arrow on his wrist right where
mm-hmm,
he can see it, and then it says "Come here" or
mm-hmm.
go to this address. And as he's like, "Man, fuck that," he just start losing shit. Nigga lost his nose, bruh.
Bro, it's literally
I'm pretty
like
sure that shit. But by the way he was talking at one point, they cut his
they took
tongue
his
out.
tongue. Yep.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
motherfucker, bro, he like it is like one of the most effective depictions I've ever seen of like how, this is the same person that exists in this time. So they do some shit to this person and it's gonna affect you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Which is very
that's
dark when you picture it, because that,
yeah.
like, essentially the other nigga is getting tortured to death and just, oh
Yep.
my god.
Yeah, like about to say, they said they was gonna like try not to kill him and whatnot. So they killed the loop and shit. They probably gonna leave him alive as that fucked up vegetable. As a consequence of failing his job.
Jesus Christ.
Like
Nah, that shit's
that.
wild.
Yeah, these folks are not playing, bro. But with that being said, I don't know, man. That shit, like, I don't know where I even want to start with that shit. That shit just cold as a bitch, bro, for real. But
Even with the so to go into the memory shit, right? Nigga said he can remember everything that he
mhm.
does after he does it.
I
So
was about to say
they
he was
keep
like
that
it's real
connection
fuzzy
going
up
throughout
until it
the
happens. Like,
yeah, and they keep some concepts of time travel. Now it's extremely like complicated and like with the whole like this universe and that universe and these different timelines and all that other shit. This is kind of before all of that, where time travel was kind of basic. It was you live, and if you go back, you can see your former self, and that same former self is just you in the past. And so y'all are directly connected. And I think though we've seen a lot of other shit, probably some colder shit, but that basic depiction of time travel worked very, very well, even though it's been being used since like back in the back to what is it, Back to the Future, and that came out in like the 80s or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I fuck with that a lot.
I don't know, man. Like, so then you have the plot. Basically, Joe has come back in order to try to get rid of the Rainmaker, who is the big mafioso of the future and whatnot. A motherfucker came out of nowhere and took over the whole game by itself, pretty much. Motherfucker got like telekinetic powers and all type of shit. So he's going back and he's gonna try to kill the motherfucker before they become the Rainmaker and shit.
Mm.
And you find out through this shit that Joe, young Joe has befriended a woman and her, what is essentially her son, but not really,
Mm.
and that
Well,
child
it
will eventually.
actually is.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a weird thing, Oh yeah, like that's your mom's sister and this and that, like it. I don't know, it's just stupid. But I thought that was really stupid.
I'm
But
sorry. I meant to warn y'all prior to this. I'm gonna take some time to shit on irresponsible single parents. Um,
hey, I don't think that's a smart idea, bro. That was a mother. You're gonna get a lot of hate in the comments.
I don't give a fuck. So this bitch
Oh
had a
my god.
child, said, I'm not giving up my life, so really fuck this kid, and dropped him off with her sister. And clearly her sister wasn't in that much of a better situation because she got capped up or whatever the fuck happened. So then you come back in this extremely embarrassing state and talking about how embarrassed you were and all this shit. You deserve exactly what you got from your son disowning you every time that he did, because you gave him a chance to identify with somebody else, your sister, as his mother before you, because you wanted to be out being a thought.
Yeah, but was she out there? I don't think she was bitching about it though. Like she wasn't just, she was like, "Yeah, I know how this shit go. It
Oh
makes
shit.
sense."
And that bitch had a bunch of tears. She was all mad at Joe and shit because he was trying to like figure out what the fuck going on, what the hell he into right now, because this shit don't not lining up right. This kid waking me up out of my sleep and shit. He clearly needs some type of male influence over his life, because this bitch is fucking chopping wood all
And
day
then
and like
in the classic female fashion, instead of answering some questions, she
she
just
got
give up
pissed.
some pussy.
No,
Like that bitch was like, "Hey,
she got
all them
pissed
questions."
first.
That was
She
just
said,
like that.
"Fuck
Hey,
you," and
Roots.
then
That
fucked
was
him.
Yeah, that's a fact. Hey, Roots. That was that shit that happened on what was it, Alien 3.
Facts.
Motherfucker went and gave up some pussy before they give an answer. Like,
Yeah, nah, just fucking stupid. And like, bro, I'm sitting here fucking protecting you. I'm living out here with you and I'm protecting you. The least you could do is make sure I'm in the know about shit I should be in the know about. This kid could have blown me the fuck up at any fucking point in time. Yeah, we jump in there. This little nigga could have just, I don't know, tripped over his fucking shoelace, got pissed off, and blown me the fuck up for being
tripped
around to
over
see it.
his shoelace.
Bro, that's how simple it is. It don't
He
take
scrape
nothing for
his
this nigga
knee
to
and shit and get pissed.
bro, nigga turned into the Phoenix.
I'm gonna
The
keep it a
fuck?
whole buck, bro. Like, I don't know what perspective. I know what
Oh my god.
perspective they're trying to get people to watch this movie through. But if we being honest, old Joe was right, bro. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. He probably he was out there capping kids, but at least he was doing
Fucked
it
up.
for a good reason, bro. Like he had the right idea and shit.
Yeah,
And motherfucker was like, "Oh man, you can't just kill this kid." Yes, I can. Get the fuck
I'm
out the
trying to get my
way.
bitch back, nigga.
Like, regardless of any of that, bro, this motherfucker is gonna terrorize the future. You wanna, do all of this shit like, oh, well, we can protect it, we can change the future. I know how we can change the future and definitely not deal with it. I got. I'm about to say, are you familiar with lead?
In which he knew it was fucked up. He felt like shit the first time with the first kid he had to pop.
Yeah.
And speaking of, how the fuck do you let off this
Look,
pistol in the middle of a resignated area and nobody checked to see what the fuck was going on? It's just a random bitch walking her child down the street while this nigga just stumbled out of
Other than
fucking
that,
house after
boy,
a gunshot went off.
how do you be the parent that allowed your kid to get smoked in broad daylight by a random balding man, like with a
Bro,
fucking
clearly this
vendetta?
area is like that. Your kid should not ever be out of your sight.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. You got to kill yourself as a parent. Like you
Yeah,
at
you
that point.
stuck.
You know what I'm saying?
Your kid got smoked at the back door.
Bro, that shit is sick, man. This balding man walked up with a grip and blew that bitch, and
From Kansas, might I add.
mission failed popped up. The Call of Duty mission failed. We'll get them next
Wasted.
time popped up. Like, God, man, I don't know, but yeah, but I will say, like, whenever the scene where like all the fucking the Gat men or whatever show up at the farm and shit and end up getting clapped, bro. That shit was cold as a bitch. Like,
When they showed up
motherfuckers.
at the farm, or did you mean when they showed up at the
Well, they was out in that cornfield, right? Like they all showed up at the crib and shit, and motherfuckers was like hiding in the cellar or whatever that shit was.
Well, no, there was one where one showed up, the nigga Jess, he showed up, fucking Joe had to dip off and hide. He ends up hiding behind the couch in the fucking living room. Don't know why that seemed like a good idea. The kid, bro, this kid's so fucking gangster, bro. Nigga creeped down the stairs, looked at him, was like, "Hey, bro, you gonna handle this nigga or what?" He like, "Hey, bro, chill, don't do that." Nigga just creep on down the stairs, go knock some shit over in the kitchen real quick. Just hop up, run in there with a little dude mom. Dude run into or kid run into the motherfucking the understairs storage closet or whatever fuck. Because it got a little hatch in it that lead to like some tunnel that lead to outside. That little nigga smart as shit. Not to mention before that, he made a whole fucking communication system out of his fucking toys. Of course he ended up being the Rainmaker. He's a fucking menace.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I say, I just was not on the side of this kid at all throughout this movie, man. I was just like, yeah, you are problematic, and you are like almost to the point of being a nuisance, and you're trying to paint it as like, oh, he's been through a lot and trauma. Like, I understand that. I can have sympathy for you, but you are a cunt. Like, in every facet, and I do not feel that sympathy. And then I don't know, man. Like y'all, I'll let y'all talk about the movie for a little bit because I'm damn near at the point where I want to talk about the ending.
Like, yeah, nah.
Well, KTO, you could do that.
Yeah,
it wasn't
there's not much to this movie, honestly. We've pretty much
it's pretty straightforward, and even though this movie was
like
2 hours long,
I'm sorry. Joe and his fucking mommy issues, niggas paying a prostitute to rub her fingers through his hair,
and then he said, "Hey, I'll give you half my stash, and you can just get out this life, bro." What is it like?
I swear to God, at that point, I'm just like, this nigga Joe, goofy.
Hey, F-Dub, man, you good?
Yeah, what's up?
What the fuck you be having going on, man?
Oh, my fault, bro.
You picked this shit. You picked the wrestler, bro. All your movies got people falling in love with whores. Like,
it wasn't intentional, nigga.
Is this an indictment about you? Are you in love with a whore, Dub?
No, not at all. Bro. Not at all.
That's a valid question. We need answers.
Is her name Chastity? Or is it Maserati or some other shit? some other shit that the bitches that like had these
Bitch
kids
named
don't like.
after an airline.
Man, the bitches name their kids after shit they don't got. Like,
Nah,
Mercedes.
man. This was no. I don't know if y'all have seen this movie like before I requested it, right? But this was actually my first time watching this. You feel me? So like, you feel me? It wasn't coincidental, KTO. It's just whatever.
all I'm
It just
saying,
lines
bro,
up like
is
that.
like you got about one more movie before this starts becoming your shit in the same way they be trying to say that shit about Roots with that man ass movies. Like this finna become your shit. Horror
I ain't
love
gonna lie.
movies.
I'd gladly switch narratives with you. If that
Roots finna pick a horror love movie.
I gotta figure out some way to get this shit off me, bro. Like,
But
this shit ridiculous.
yeah. So like about the so like in regards to the ending, how should I say this? That shit was ass. It sucked. Like, buddy, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so it gets to the point where, like they get the final, like it was a pretty cool, final confrontation fight scene, whatever the fuck, the Joes are doing battle and whatnot. They have two opposing ideals and they're in the middle of a goddamn cornfield and shit, just fighting at night and whatnot.
In
And
Kansas.
young Joe, yes, in Kansas, young Joe, realizes, I'm not gonna win this. He's about to shoot this kid. He says, there's only one way to end this. He put that bitch to his chest and blow that bitch. Like, man,
This nigga
what,
might really be a goofy.
bro?
Nigga, hold on. And I get it. It was admirable, bro, what he did. I get
Yeah,
it.
I know
I
how they're
completely
trying to paint
understand
it.
that.
Like, oh yeah,
However,
but
not
man,
only did this nigga fall in love with a stripper,
yep,
he fell in love with another bitch with a kid that might cause the end of the fucking world. And then he commits suicide. Oh, I can't say
yep.
that yet. He offed himself. Like,
Can't say that yet. We 37 minutes
no,
in, bro.
not yet. Not I didn't mean to say yet. But yeah, this nigga might be this might be the ultimate simp, cuz.
Bro, the way Bruce
He's
Willis
the final, he's
looked
a
at
final
his
form simp.
bro, Bruce Willis looked at his chest and seen that shit show up, bro, and he was like, "You stupid motherfucker, boy!" Like that, I can't, man. Like I say, because bro, you killed yourself, bro. You can't, like, it ain't nothing you get to do now. If you made the wrong choice, now you done killed yourself, and the world's still fucked, and nobody gonna stop it, bro. I can't
If
believe it.
anything, I'd have respected it if the nigga looked down or looked up. Which hand he got that gun in? Fuck it. I'm gonna be a righty now. Blew his hand off. That'd have been cold.
Yeah, that probably would have. That would have been
it's a
fire.
call to the shit that we already seen. That's fire. You
That
lost the hand, but now you get a bitch to rub through your hair all the goddamn time, and you out the life. You
That's crazy, bro.
The whole syndicate that you was working for is gone.
All he wanted was a bitch to pet him like a cat, man, and all this shit could have been avoided. Like,
and I know this is the future. I know he could have got a motherfucking metal arm from somewhere.
Yeah, some sort of
now
prosthetic.
You Winter Soldier out this bitch, cold as fuck. But
keep it a buck, bro. I can get one of them right now. Like, I'm just saying, I ain't joking, man. Like, I know he could have.
Would you want like one like what they got now, or you want one with a star on that bitch and you can fucking catch a shield and throw that?
I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. The only thing that is important to me is that should it be my left hand, that shit still works in the proper proportions and grip strength, so I can do anything I need to do in life. Like
he
that,
really hold on. He could have just blew off his trigger finger. That would have gave him more time to get over there.
God, that shit would have hurt, but hell yeah, it would have.
It'd have hurt like a bitch, but at least you done bought yourself some time to get over there.
That shit is crazy, bro. He really just like killed himself, and that's how the movie ends, with a hope of a better future. Because the little dude saw a noble sacrifice. Somebody sacrificed for me and my mom. I'm not gonna kill everybody now. Like,
yeah, keyword hope, because that dark future can still happen.
It's just ambiguous, bro. It's just like ambiguous.
Terrible.
Hey, all this shit happens. Joe goes through all this shit and fixes it. This kid life and whatnot. He go to school. His mama sent him to school in some fucking some big ass pants, and he gets bullied and shit. And now all of a sudden
Now
it's
he
all
like,
for
man,
nothing,
fuck
man.
it, I'm killing
Now I'm
everybody.
about to say he gonna kill everybody else again just because his mom had him wearing Skechers and shit to school.
Yeah, no,
That's Skechers to school is crazy, but
Yeah, light up joints.
nigga
Shaq
got
shoes,
Spider-Man 2099 on his
bro.
fucking
He got
shoes.
Shaq shoes, bro. Like, but yeah. So like I say, I think that like this movie, in my opinion, it it's like a really good journey to a destination I didn't like. You know.
I'm sorry. I gotta go back real quick. I might have to off some people too if my mom sent me to school in Shacks, bro. That's such an ass shoe. That is an ass shoe.
I
You
had some
sent
of them
me
hoes, bro. I had
to
the
school
Walmart
in some
Shacks, bro.
nah,
I
bro.
had the Walmart Shacks when I was
This
young,
nigga
man.
dunking and putting his nuts on air on my shoes.
On air.
That shit don't even look fire. And you send me to school in this? I'm definitely offing people now. I'm gonna run this whole fucking world.
That boy Roots got sent to school with a wrong shirt. He was finna Columbine that whole boy. That shit is
Oh
crazy.
my god!
Listen, bro, kids are mean. In which I mean, they're mean today, but like I've heard my
Kids
little
today are
cousin
just
and
fucking
my
half retarded. Like,
yeah, they're half
they get
retarded. So like they don't even know how to they don't know
to
how to roast.
insult and roast and shit, bro. It's all
They don't know how. It's ass. It's so terrible.
But I will say, I think that's counterbalanced by the fact that they're like more like readily available forms of like roasting and whatnot. Like kids, like that we're entering the generation where like kids will soon start to get bullied because they mama got OnlyFans and shit.
Oh God,
It's
that's
getting that like we're about
yeah,
in that era. You know,
yeah, that's bad. That's
uh,
it's and I this is fucked up to say, but I'm gonna have a I told you so on standby for some of these hoes. I promise you. When you 45 and you get the call that your son done upped the pistol on the whole class,
because
all I'm
you
gonna do
was
is
out there
say,
you
remember
was
that
out
shit you
there
had in your
selling
IG bio?
squirt videos and shit. Like,
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Bruh, they have access to it. Like these kids got credit cards and shit. You think they can't get on your motherfucking
brother,
OnlyFans and download all that shit?
I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you, bro. I don't know, I wasn't a big like allowance kid growing up where I really got an allowance like that. But some of these kids, they be getting allowances. You get your access to a credit card or whatever, get motherfucker. Like if you have money, you can get a bitch OnlyFans for anywhere between $7 and $25, bro.
That ain't shit
I'm
off the
about to
credit
say
card.
you
Some people won't even notice that shit gone.
see what I'm saying? Like in motherfucker just in there getting cooked because they mama cosplaying as an anime character
They done put that
with a
shit up on the
damn
smart board, cuz.
Oh
bro,
my god, bro.
Buddy got his phone out. You know what I'm saying? You over there like, haha, you're wearing Shaq shoes, haha, and that shit landing. And all of a sudden he like, bro, this your mama asshole right here, bro. And that shit like, and you
He
can't
just
come
pull up
back
the
from that shit,
video
man.
and fucking airdrop that to everybody in the classroom, and
Bro, I swear to
you
God,
getting
bro, that is,
clapped. Your
bro.
son just sitting there crying his fucking
Hey
brains
Roots,
out.
I'm you know what I'm saying? I pay a little bit of money and get a custom phone case made of your mama with nut across her shit, boy. And that's my phone case. You can't do nothing about it. Like
You can't do shit.
that shit is.
And then this
Oh my god.
back to the movie. Clearly that's what this type of shit this bitch was doing when she dropped her kid off at her sister.
Hey
She was
Roots,
out
I
there
don't
getting
know,
clapped
man.
and
Like
getting
why
high.
do you just automatically assume she was being a whore? Maybe she was
Bro,
just like,
she said when I got the call, I was at a party, so I showed up in running makeup and a party dress.
yeah. That don't mean she was a whore, Roots.
She didn't say she
Nah,
had
but she was getting
draws on.
slutted out.
She
She
was
was getting
someone getting
slutted out.
clapped on.
Oh, come on, man. I think she meant like she was, crying and stuff, man. I don't think
All
that
right.
was, yeah.
You know what else make mascara run? The dick
I
in
have a
that bitch,
feel
bro.
to say I feel like you was about to tell me, but we
Bitch
love
was up,
women
bitch
on
was
this
somewhere in the
podcast.
alley giving up gok, bro.
I
That's
swear to
then
God,
she
I
got the
love
call.
women, bro. Like this, but we are having to keep it very much real right now on this podcast. Um, I
Bro,
don't know, man.
raise your kids yourself. They came out of you. Fuck that extra shit. Or they can grow up to
Yeah, I'm
fucking
about
end
to
the
say
world.
because either
That's
I'm about
what's
to
on the
say
line. That's what's on the line. Y'all gotta realize this shit.
no.
That's
I
what's
need
on the
you. I
line,
need
bro.
you to understand that like that is the main moral of this movie. Like like be a good parent because your kid might end up being a fucking telekinetic genocider or might end up trying to give half of his fortune to a whore to rub her fingers
Yeah,
through
that's
his
the
hair, bro.
spectrum we're on right now.
Like that,
Like,
it's an
he could be
evil
a
world.
bitch ass nigga, or he can be fucking Hitler. Like those that's the spectrum we're on.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I don't know which is worse. Like,
She's like too far either way is terrible.
I'm about to say, just like find yourself in the center and like be F dub, fall in love with a whore, man.
Hey man,
Just don't give her
what
no
the
money.
fuck?
Like
What
that's
the
good
fuck?
in the middle. Like just don't give her all your check.
Don't
Yeah, I'm
start
about to
this
say
narrative,
buy
KTO.
buy her some shacks, man.
Yeah, like get her some cool sneaks, man. Don't fucking Balenciaga bag every weekend. And
I'll
shit.
buy my
She
bitch
still
some
throw
Vans,
ass
man.
for a living.
Yeah, I'll buy my bitch some Vans, man. I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna.
Converse.
Yeah, nice pair of Chucks. That'll slut a bitch out right there. All right, man. Let's rate this bitch and get the fuck out of here. We ain't got to sit here forever. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna say this right now. I am not going to rate this movie because I got to watch an hour of this movie, then had to go to work yesterday, and then I had to go to work today, so I didn't get to watch the rest of it. But I've already seen this movie, so I just want to be here for the conversation.
No,
So
go ahead and rate it.
No,
I'll
yeah,
let y'all.
might as well give your
You've
rating,
been
brother.
engaged in
But
the
I don't
entire
think that's
conversation.
fair because I don't think that the second half of the movie I got like the impact. I remember how ass I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that because like I think that I would probably give it a lower rating than what it might actually deserve.
Got you.
You know?
Yeah, well, fair enough, I guess. I can go. Yeah, I can go first. So, all right. So, besides the very anticlimactic ending, and some of the motivations and whatnot, I thought it was a dope movie, man. Once again, I felt like it was a concept that was explored in a very interesting way and whatnot. Definitely something I personally have never seen before. So that was shout out to Ryan Johnson for all that and whatnot. The script was the script of the movie was good in my opinion. The actors came with it. Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Shout out to them. Um, to wrap it up, overall, I give the movie a 8 out of 10. To be honest.
All right, bet. This this was an all right movie. This as far as the look of it, as far as
I was just about to say we
most of
didn't
it.
address it, but this is a pretty beautiful looking movie. I
Oh
think.
yeah, most
I
definitely.
think that
And
they
I think it
especially
was
for like
I think it was a.
2012,
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
like for 2012, I think that this was really good looking. Is my point.
Well, in which I mentioned this a couple of times already, but that was in the middle of like a lot of movies looking really fucking good. Like I don't know exactly what changed, but like I said before, Avatar came out during that time. Fucking The Great Gatsby. Like it's a good bit of movies that we've had on this show that came out around that time, and they look immaculate. Like better than some shit that's come out recently. So shouts out to that. But along with that, a lot of the concepts, they didn't do future too much. You know what I'm saying? Like every car wasn't fucking flying. Like they had a
They
hover
just put a
hover
little
bike in
rocket
that
on
bitch.
the back of a motorcycle and shit.
That
Yeah,
was cold.
like
That was
it
cold.
was
I'm not gonna lie
alright.
to
Like
you.
it wasn't like they wasn't doing like the Jetsons and shit. Like they wasn't living in the sky and shit like that. And it spoke to classism as well. the divide between the rich and the poor, because the poor was getting hoed throughout this whole shit. I seen a kid almost get run over just for chasing the ball in the street.
Hey, I seen a
The nigga that
motherfucker
almost
run
hit him
off with a
stared him down,
bag.
bro.
Bro, a motherfucker ran off with a bag from a bus. Buddy calmly untucked that bitch and nailed
Popped
that
him.
motherfucker, boy.
Popped him. I don't even think the kid screamed. They used to that shit. They got a fucking bus in the middle of the goddamn street, just broke down. This kid's living on that bitch. Like they depicted like a very fucked up but still like good looking future. Like just how certain things operate. I think the world building that they did with this movie was able to help tell the story a lot, and I fuck with that. Oh yeah, the watering shit the bitch had, where she cut that bitch on and it fucking hovered back and forth over all the crops and shit and watered that hoe. That's hard. I fuck with that. But I did not fuck with the fact that they only got two main guns, which is a thrown together shotgun with tape on that bitch and a fucking long barrel pistol that's horrible with fucking aim.
That
But
shit was ridiculous though, and like in the terms that it looked and just shooting performance, I'm like, bro, what? This is the future, and this is what they
the
got.
best shit I seen, I'll say the best shit that I seen with a gun and the worst shit I seen with a gun. The best shit I seen with a gun is when big old B Willis motherfucking pulled out two P90s on them in that motherfucking and went to air and shit. Nigga took out the whole fucking gang. Just tearing shit the fuck up. I thought that was fire. But the most ass shit is how Joe was able to defeat what is it, Kid Blue?
Kid
Nigga
Blue,
shot at the ground a couple times, created some dust, and then shot that nigga in the head as he was going by. I don't know if that was like an ass plan that just happened to work, or Kid Blue is just fucking retarded. It might be
It
both.
was definitely the first one, bro. He shot his own fucking foot off, bro. He was clearly ass. He shouldn't have been given that gun. I don't know why Abe kept letting him run around. Even he acknowledged he was a damn retard. He literally
Nigga
felt like
stood in front of
bro, he
a
got
door
locked in
that's
a
6 feet off the ground and got popped in the head
bro.
with a
Joe
bottle.
locked that motherfucker in a cellar. He was like, "Hey, I can fix this. I can do this." Now he said, "Take the rest of the night off, kid. Let the grown ups handle it." Like he knows he's a fuck up, bro.
Bro, nigga got fired and his bill of resignation was getting popped on the knuckles with a fucking ball bearing hammer. Like and then he went to go live in a skyscraper in a tent. But yeah, this shit was all right. It wasn't like super duper cold. In terms of time, yeah. In terms of time travel, I think as far as time travel, I kind of have a list, like a kind of like a ranking setting from. This is probably somewhere in like a 10 a list of 10 is a list of 10 as far as concepts, because in my eyes though it's not necessarily time travel, it has a lot to do with time. In time is like the top shit for me as far as concepts of dealing with time, and Back to the Future is not too far behind that, but I think this is probably somewhere in between. So probably like if In Time is my number one and Back to the Future is my number 6, this is probably like somewhere like in the 4 region or some shit. But as far as the rating, I think I'm gonna go with a 7.4. And Fireworks, you said your shit was an 8?
Yeah.
7.7.
Solid.
Which is also, I think that's the first time we've had only 2 people rate a fucking movie. But
I've definitely
Fireworks,
done. Me and Slim did that shit before.
oh, okay. KTL, if you want to go ahead and just give some final thoughts to this hoe, then that's cool.
Well, I gotta say, man, I think I really discussed most of it like on the podcast. It's a really good looking movie with an interesting premise. It's got good actors that delivered a good performance. I just think that they didn't stick the landing on it. I
Mm,
understand what they were going for, and I think that people might have a differing opinion whenever they like watch this for themselves, which I encourage. We always encourage y'all to go
what's that?
watch these things and give your own opinions and whatnot, whether it be fire or whether it be well. Don't go watch Strange Thing About the Johnsons,
Please
but like
don't.
like
Jesus
that
Christ.
like that type of shit you don't need to watch. But like normally, what I'm saying, it go ahead and have your own perspective on it. But like I say, I think that I've said it often, our group has differing moral stances than the normal person would have, or the the regular citizen. So it probably is like, oh, it's a noble sacrifice and this and that. Like he fell in love and then he, gave his life to preserve it and this and that. I think it's some bitch ass shit. Um, like I think you could have just took yo silver bars and you ain't even need to find no Chinese bitch no more. Just let Buddy just clap that motherfucker, and you know go ahead and ride off in the sunset. Like you might not have been able to keep that bitch, but you good. The world ain't gonna end no more, and you ain't gonna die in 30 years no more. Clearly. So, but yeah, I think that it's a good movie, man. Like I say, I don't know what my rating would have been, but it would have been somewhere around where, like y'all said, it would have been in the 7 to 8 range.
Gotcha. Well, 7.7 is the final score for Looper. And we're going to go ahead and get on to the next week's movie. Next week's movie is my pick. Reason behind picking this movie. One, I've never been able to watch it all the way through before.
Smoking
It
Aces
was,
was the last one you picked.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Uh, this is based off of a true story. The
Mm.
turnaround time between the actual event and the movie release is absolutely insane to me.
All right, he
Uh,
finna suggest The Blind Side.
yeah,
This
nah.
guy. I
But
think I think I have an idea.
you probably do. Oh, also, this was another movie that came up while me and my wife was talking, and I kind of introduced her to it, even though I had never seen it before. I was talking about real, uh,
Rap.
yeah, no, real instances in history and the depictions of them, and I think this might be one of them ones in consideration of that. So for next week's movie, we got Big Bad Tom Hanks and Captain Phillips, man.
Oh yeah, this is that shit with the Somali pirates and shit.
Facts. Oh no, that's what it was. My wife didn't know that pirates were a real thing, like today.
Hell yeah, I'm
And
about to
so I,
say.
I I went to this as reference because of the ties to the story of the Somalian pirates kind of trying to take over the fucking naval ship and shit.
Nah, that's a
So yeah,
fact, man. I inherited some land from one of my uncles in Somalia and shit. Them pirates told me I better be ready to die if I try to come claim it and shit, man.
This nigga's
Just
crazy.
had to leave that shit alone.
This nigga is crazy.
I ain't willing to die over that shit. Y'all got that.
but yeah,
Is this
man,
the first Tom Hanks movie we've had?
it can't be. It can't.
It's
Is it?
90 some odd movies, and I don't think we've ever had I think we had this discussion before, too. We've had a Tom Cruise movie, but I don't think we ever had a Tom Hanks movie in any capacity. I know
Damn.
motherfuckers ain't suggest Forrest Gump. They ain't suggest
Fact.
Castaway.
Or
Facts.
big.
Big, yeah. What is that? Philadelphia. They didn't suggest that shit.
Nobody requested Catch Me If You Can either. That's another one.
No.
Hell
What?
no.
Yo,
I
Damn.
forgot he was in that hoe.
How is? You know what? That's kind of crazy. I mean, and
that is crazy.
George Clooney is also one of them ones, and the only movie we've had him in was The Flash, and he was only there for like 30 seconds or some shit.
Didn't
Yo,
no
we
Slim
gotta
didn't
be
pick
ass,
a.
bro.
I thought Slim picked the Ocean's movie, but he didn't.
No, he did.
Damn, we gotta be ass if
I
we
mean,
never had big
I'm about to
bad
say
Tom
we've had
Hanks,
this
man.
discussion though. We've had like there's a few like people that we like that are large name actors that we never had movies from.
I think Christian Bale is one of those names as well.
Yeah, probably.
And that's one of them niggas for me. He's definitely
I don't
top
think we
five.
had. I don't think we had a Matt Damon movie.
Matt Damon.
He wasn't in
No,
the
yeah.
Joshua
Matt
Job, was
Damon.
he?
Technically, we had him for Deadpool 2 because he was like a side character in that shit.
I forgot about that.
You
shit.
could very rare. You got to go back and watch the episode because Slim actually brought this up, and I looked it up for myself. It's 100% true. But I don't know if you remember the scene where it's the two hillbillies standing at the back of the truck.
Yeah, I remember. I heard y'all say the podcast on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that podcast because I didn't get to watch that.
Yo,
I'm about to say we got to get out of here because that dog is tearing some shit up, boy.
Yeah,
and I can't tell whether he biting a toy or humping it.
No, he biting a toy right now, and it's fucking annoying me.
So y'all be ready, man.
Bro, why the
Next
fuck
week
did you get a sneaky toy? Like, you didn't think that through, huh?
No, I didn't.
God damn.
Yeah, so next week, man, we gonna be here. The director of the Bourne Ultimatum, y'all see it right there, Captain Phillips, man. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
This nigga's stupid.
I
didn't get the joke.
Yeah, I don't. What? All right.
You said the director was Captain Phillips?
No, I said from the director of the Bourne Ultimatum, we got Captain Phillips.
Oh, I was gonna say, where are you going with that? All right, but
yeah, if I could have come up with something like that, that might have been fire. But y'all stay tuned, man. We got something we finna do here in a minute. You know,
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all go get you some W if you ain't already.
Go get you some W, goddamn.
Oh God, support the podcast. You already know we've been kind of going crazy lately with the podcast, going crazy, whatnot. Shout out W, our sponsor. Use code REALRAP for 20% off, not 10%.
Hey, fireworks, man. I think this calls for a throwback. Pause is necessary.
The throwback.
This a podcast. Yeah. This a podcast. Yeah.
That's not